We always love a part 2, right? Well, part 2 of this guy having somewhat bad takes, and I'll explain why they're bad in a minute. Obviously, as I always do.
Well, I didn't think that I was going to be making another video on this topic, but here we are. Yesterday, the new voice for Super Mario revealed himself. Kevin Afghani is his name, and I posted a reply to that tweet, essentially pointing out that he had pronouns in his bio. He/him pronouns to be precise. That tweet exploded and is now approaching nearly 2 million views. The video I made about it yesterday now has over 1,000 comments, so yeah, it kind of went a little bit viral. But the reason I'm making this video today is to respond to some of the comments that I got. And even though there were over 1,000 comments in the YouTube video, the basic idea behind these comments is generally the same. They will say something along the lines of, well, everyone has pronouns, as if that somehow proves me wrong.
No, what proves you wrong on pronouns and bios is the fact that there's a long history of biographies, written books having the person's pronouns in it. So why would a bio, which is designed to be your personal biography in the short form, supposed to not have your pronouns? There's an identifying factor about yourself that is very important because that's how people refer to you. Unless you want people to call you Kevin Afghani only, in his case, or in your case, Switchblade. But I don't think you would play many Switch games. I think you're more of a fighter channel, but which is fair. Yeah, you don't understand what a bio is for if you think that pronouns in them is stupid.
On its face, yeah, it is a true statement. Everyone does in fact have pronouns. That's not what my issue is though. What I take issue with is this belief that we somehow have to acknowledge this.
Liana is my partner, Deem is cute, and I belong to Deem. I love Demon very much, and I hope Deem loves Demon's self too.
According to the mob that swarmed me yesterday and which continues to swarm me today, we have to take people like that seriously.
Now, I've historically been against the idea of neopronouns. It's not something I personally do, it's just something I think most people should do, or anybody should do. But at the same time, this neopronouns have existed since like the 1700s, I believe, or the 1800s at least. Like a thon, that that's technically a neopronoun. That was 1884 is one of the year, or Idaho 1884. You get what I'm saying? Since the 1800s, at least the late 1800s, there has been a form of neopronoun. So, while I don't agree with it, because I guess I don't have an issue with it, since the English language is like when it's constantly evolving, and neopronoun is just new pronoun. Just don't make it stupid, like funny self or something like that. Make it like I joke about Ziza a lot, but I prefer you using those to demon self or whatever. I just don't like those.
That's according to them. So while everyone may have pronouns and always have had pronouns, it's only a recent development in human history that people have referred to themselves as bugs or dogs or kitten self or whatever weird random crap that they can think of in the moment.
Now, I know I just said I don't really like neopronouns, but to give them their like piece of cake, there's been neopronouns recorded as far back as the 1700s, so I was right, just not Thon. Thon's oldest is like, maybe in the 14th century actually, which was longer ago. But like, Ziza, all those are older than 20 years, 10 years, like, almost, they're older than me, and I'm in my mid-20s? Yeah, mid-20s. So, yeah, you again, I don't expect you to know this history, because this is something I didn't know off the top of my head. I had to look it up. But history doesn't agree with you yet again.
And it wouldn't bother me that people want to refer to themselves as these things if it were not for the fact that this movement is not organic in the least bit. It's not a real thing. It's not. But we're supposed to believe that it is. It's obviously a psychological operation conducted by who knows what intelligence agency.
I'm gonna need something a lot harder than soda I'm drinking. Now, you're saying neopronouns, something that's existed for over 100 years now, as I just stated, is a psyop. Man. I don't know what to say. There are sometimes people say stuff that is so asinine that I have to sit here and think for a second. I don't have anything. It's just so stupid. That's all I have to say. That the idea that everything is a psyop just because you don't like it is asinine, foolish.
But it's definitely not an organic development, and you know it isn't, because one of the things is that it's being fed to our kids at the government level. They teach our kids this weird nonsense about gender ideology and pronouns and things of that nature in public school.
Now, I keep hearing this. I really keep hearing this, but I can't find a school that explicitly says you have to teach it. There are schools that have it like optional, like where is it? Oregon, I believe. Oregon has it to as an optional thing you do, but the standard thing is explain why rules reduce conflict and promote fairness. That's the first thing. Use it and identify respectful dialogue, taking turns in explaining how rules are different in different settings. Describe the roles of self and family members. That's the civics and government portion of that. Let's see. Civics and government describe nope. That's still not a thing in grade 1. Grade 2. No, still not a thing. Grade 3. Nope. Grade 4. Nope. Grade 5. Nope. Grade 6. Nuh-uh. Still not a thing. Let's keep going. Grade 7. Nope. Not a thing. Grade 8. Okay, there's a lot in grade 8. Ooh, wow, this maybe, and I see nothing mentioning gender. Not a single one. You know what? Maybe it's high school, okay? Maybe it's high school. Maybe that's where they, and I don't see anything. You know what? Maybe it's, oh, high school's the last one. Oh. Now, I will give it to you. It is an optional thing they can teach. But to claim it as part of the curriculum for them to teach it, in at least Oregon and most other states, it is an outright lie. There is no evidence to support your claim that I've seen. Please, if somebody else has seen evidence to support it, please, give a link. No, don't link it. Just tell me what state and I'll look into it.
Schools that you and I fund with our tax dollars. They're using our tax dollars to destroy the minds of the next generation. And that ultimately is the point of gender ideology and the ascension of so-called pronouns in our culture today. Make no mistake, it has absolutely nothing to do with compassion. What they always do is hide their schemes behind a veil of compassion.
Now, it is based in compassion for some people. They don't think about neopronoun people. If you want to argue that neopronouns are the bad thing, they're doing it for trans people, for non-binary people, people who may need these pronouns in their bios so people know how to describe them. Like me, I haven't shown my face, so you don't know what I look like. All you know is this VTuber. Well, actually, some of the people watching may know what I look like. But, yeah, pronouns on my bio because how else would you identify me if you've never seen me before? Otherwise, or put simply, I'm using my bio for what it should be used for, which is identification.
So what does any of that have to do with Kevin Afghani? By simply including he, him pronouns in your Twitter bio, you are essentially acknowledging the legitimacy of a completely illegitimate idea. Yes, he is a male and his pronouns are he, him, but the bigger point is that he shouldn't have to announce that to the world. Humans have gone our entire evolutionary history without needing to do so.
Egyptians had 3 genders, I believe, or they acknowledged 3 genders. Greeks acknowledge 3 genders at least. Romans acknowledge 3 genders at least. Native Americans acknowledge 3 genders at least. I can keep going. Our evolutionary history, as you said, has acknowledged multiple genders. People now are crying about it because they don't like the fact that history doesn't go their sad, pathetic little opinions. But historically speaking, we've had multiple genders throughout the entirety of human civilization.
We can take a look at a person and instantly tell what gender they are.
People have played this game with me before, buddy, and they didn't win. You cannot tell by looking at somebody. There's some people you can, sure. There's a lot of people you cannot tell. And I know because I've fooled people by showing them pictures of all women and all men. And I told them to point out the trans person. And I never once said there was one, I said point them out. If there was none, then they could say there is none. And not a single time did they get it right. It's almost like that people are lying when they say they can tell. That they think they can tell, but in reality, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
On top of that, some of these geniuses even went as far as to quote unquote misgender me by calling me a she. Dude, calling me a she is like calling a book a shoe, or calling a pair of pants a dress. It doesn't make any logical sense because he or she pronouns are not things that you can just change on a whim. You can't choose your pronouns. You can't. Your pronouns, just like your gender, are decided the moment that you're born.
Okay. Now, one, you do care that people are misgendering you, otherwise why would you mention it? Like, you talk about you got death threats on people telling you to off yourself, which, nobody should do that. I'm gonna stand by this. Nobody should do that. However, you are wrong in a major way. Your sex is not determined at your birth. It is determined in the womb. And before you get the, let's say, hormones to change your sex or the whatever. I don't know the actual thing. It's chromosome based still. Before your body acknowledges that what chromosomes it has, you are the same you are the same regardless. So your argument is flawed. Also, you can change your gender. It is a legal thing you can do. What's on your ID is what the masses considers your gender to be. So if I put on my ID and it said, fucking dog self, or I guess fox self, fox self, then I'm considered a fox. That's just how it works. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, historically, biologically, legally, socially, you just don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so I cut out a lot of him, like, complaining about people sending him hate. Because, I mean, he kind of deserves the, like, backlash. Not people will tell him off himself, obviously, but, like, the backlash because he did basically call for someone to get fired because they had pronouns, and I'm not for that. That's just canceling somebody like they're doing to him. I don't like that. I don't like cancel culture unless it's for something good like predation. But yeah. So he made 2 videos. That was his first one. Now we'll talk about the second one. If there's anything good, I forget because honestly, I'm very tired.
What do I mean by pronoun person? Well, if you've been at all attuned to the goings on in the culture wars lately, then you already know what I mean, and I shouldn't have to explain it. But these weirdos that went on this massive hate campaign against me, they decided to pretend that they didn't know what I was talking about. They pretended that I was referring to normal, everyday pronouns like he, her, this, that, and they. They in the plural sense.
Now, you saying that tells me you do not care at all about history, because the first singular use of they/them was in 1375, over 600 years ago. So if you care about the historical accuracy of the language, then you shouldn't care about singular use of they/them. But we've already established you don't care about historical precedent, you care about your theses, not historical facts, or biological facts, or sociological facts, or any facts. You just care about your feelings.
That's how they constructed their argument. It was a massive fake out from the very beginning. What I mean by pronoun people is the neo-pronouns, things like demon self, kitten self, people who want to be referred to as they or any multitude of other made-up pronouns.
Since before you were alive, probably, you sound like a young person. You sound younger than me. You sound like an idiotic 18-year-old or maybe 20-year-old. I'll give you 20. And since before either of us were born, buddy, before then, singular use they them. Most neo-pronouns actually were before 1990. There was just one that was out from 1990. So there's historical precedent in the English language for neo quote unquote, and singular use they them. You're crying over nothing because you're upset that people got mad at you for being a bigot.
I guess the next question you ask would be, but if he's male, then, and he uses he, him pronouns, then what's the problem?
No, my next question is why do you care?
Again, if you have a brain, then you already know, but I'm just gonna explain it for the smooth brains out there because I know you're watching. You shouldn't have to put your pronouns in your bio. We never had to before, and it only became a thing because some weirdos in some sweaty, stinky basement decided to make it a thing.
You know what's funny? The left is never depicted as smelly widows in their basement, but the right is. I think you have the wrong side mentioned in this. The reason is a thing because it's very simple. It is your biography. All biographies mention the person's pronouns. Fun fact, if you read a book, maybe you know that.
It doesn't matter if your employer encourages you to do it. If they do, then grow a pair of balls and say no.
Now, he says if your employer tells you not to do it, then you should, or tells you to do it, you should not do it. Now, here's a fun fact of the US, and I assume this guy's never had a job because if he did, he'd know this. Every single state is pretty much at will. The US is predominantly at will, aside from a few states that have exemptions, but the majority of it is at will. Meaning, for any reason, including no reason at all, you can be fired. Now, the exemptions are typically based on religion, race, gender, shit like that. Shit you can't change. Well, shit about yourself you can't change, like how you feel, shit like that. But if your employer tells you to do something and you refuse to do it, that is grounds to fire you. Now, let me talk about the screenshot he uses here. He says it is against the law in Canada to misgender somebody. Now, the only thing I can think of is Canada's push to put trans rights as human rights, which does not apply to people, actually. Funny enough, it applies to employers. And it says you can't fire somebody or discriminate against somebody based on their gender identity. That is all it says. I've read the bill now. I've read the bill. It does not say you can't do anything. It just says it aims to prevent violence and discrimination against individuals. It does not say you'll get jail time for it. Not once in this bill does it state a jail time you'll get. These people are lying. They're lying to make themselves look good, like always, because they're degenerates.
If you don't, then you're part of the problem. So if you do have pronouns in your bio, that instantly makes you someone who is more than likely ideologically aligned to the left. And even worse, it makes it likely that you're going to espouse those views to brainwash young people's minds.
Now, the right likes talking about indoctrination, brainwashing. Now, I'm not one to spout out word over stupid shit. But if you want to make that argument, and it's so apparent you want to, allow me to use that argument as something else. Christianity. You could argue that Christianity is indoctrinating people. You could argue Judaism is indoctrinating people. Well, not really Judaism, because in order to be a Jewish person, to most Jewish people, you have to be born into it. Yeah, any religion could be considered indoctrination. Political parties could be considered indoctrination. Especially with people like Elon Musk. Isn't he the one that made that Bluey ripoff that was awful? Yeah, your argument is flawed on every single front. Every single front, it is flawed. Like everything you say.
Take a look at this comment here. This is ultimately what they want. They want to make me deactivate this channel.
You know what? Let's do it once. He wants us to take a look at his comment, so let's take a look at it. If I were you, I'd just let all of this go. You're only making things worse for everyone, especially yourself. You cause too much drama over 2 words, and you keep doubling down. Just ignore everything. Put this to rest and move on. Enjoy the positivity in life and stop focusing on the negative. Now, that doesn't sound like it's telling him to delete his channel. No, sounds like it's telling him to shut up. To stop talking about it. Sorry. There's a famous Morgan Freeman quote about how he'd stopped racism, and it's simple. He says, you don't talk about it. Well, I don't agree with that with racism. With drama, that is typically how you handle it. If you don't want to deal with it anymore, you stop talking. And it all goes away. And it's that simple. But people like this guy are too sensitive to realize that if you just put aside your fifis for a second, it'll be easy because there'll be no drama. You can just ignore it. Like I do. You think there's not people telling me to off myself daily? I don't care. I just ignore it. Like you should. Don't make videos talking about it. You just ignore it. Focus on the good things in your life. I assume there's good things. You should focus on that.
If I were you, I'd just let all of this go. As if I'm the one who has to let anything go. I'm not. You're only making things worse for everyone, especially yourself. I'm not the one who directed a massive party of brainless zombies to somebody's YouTube channel to harass them. I'm not the one who did that. He then says, you caused, okay, he's blaming this on me, you caused too much drama over 2 words. I stated an opinion that didn't hurt anybody. That's what I did. And he then goes on, and you keep doubling down. Well, of course I keep doubling down. I'm being attacked over nothing. I did absolutely nothing wrong. He then says, just ignore everything, put this to rest, and move on. Fuck you. How's that sound? Enjoy the positive. Shut the fuck up.
I believe in my last video, I called you a spiteful, hateful little man. I think I did. Maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. I call a lot of people that. But you, my friend, are a spiteful, hateful little man. This person here did nothing. He gave you good advice. You started this. Your tweet caused a reaction. You were the instigator in this entire thing. His statements are not inaccurate. Anybody with 2 brain cells can see you instigated it. And then you blame it on others. You say, oh, I'm not really doing a hate mob. Nobody sent a hate mob. They saw your hateful tweet and made fun of you because you're a hateful little man. Like, you say you got a lot of hate comments. The comments I see are making fun of you. Is that what we consider hate now? Comedy? Being the butt of a joke? Sure, it's not fun, but it's not really hate. And sure, you got like, what? You showed 3 examples of you getting death threats in this video. I probably cut them out. But in this video, and you showed like 2 in the last one. That's 5 out of 1,000 comments. 5 out of 1,000. That's less than 5%. That's less than 1%. That's like 0.5%. Right? Yeah, about 0.5%. So you're making a mountain out of a molehill. You're continuing, you're doubling down. And it's obvious you've lost. Nobody agrees with you. You are the butt of the you are the joke of the internet right now. Quit and cut your losses. Say, okay, I had a bad take. I had a very, very bad take that was very, very bigoted. And that's why I'm getting all this hate, because I made a bad tweet. Or don't acknowledge it and just ignore it. Look, if you're gonna be a commentator, or I guess you're not a commentator, you make fighting videos. But if you're gonna be an internet personality, you gotta learn how to let shit roll off you. You are not sand, you are water. Shit goes through you. Doesn't stick in you. Anyway, this guy's a work of art, really. He tells a guy who's given actual advice to fuck you because he doesn't like it. You know what? That guy, if you ever see this video, you probably won't. That commenter. Good advice. You have a good head on your shoulders. Good job. That's it? That's it? My last words about you were you're a hateful little bitch? Really? Well, yes, if you want to be hateful, he's gonna be hateful. You can't teach people to be loving, you can only teach them to be hateful. Well, if you're new to the channel, please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. I try to make videos every week. I've been doing a good job of it so far. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.